When I got my first paying client, I thought, that's it. I figured it out. I can now do it again, and I've got my whole business and life sorted. But very quickly, reality caught up with me, and I realized that it was not over. And so in this video, I'd like to share a little bit with you about what I expected before this happened, how it happened, and the emotions that I felt afterwards, so that if you're on your way to getting your first paying client, you can maybe know what to expect. At least that's just my experience, but I'm sure it might be beneficial to you if you're trying to build your online business. So before I start, let me just introduce myself. My name is Lara, and I help creators monetize their skills and passions by building an aligned business. So it had been years that I had been trying to make money online. I tried many different things, and I think for me, it was not that I couldn't make money online or that I couldn't get clients. It's just that I always started something that didn't feel aligned, and so after a couple of weeks or months, I pivoted, and this is the reason why I never really managed to get there sooner. But I definitely had expectations about the moment I would start making money online, and even I knew that my first dollar would change everything, because I truly believe that in this first dollar that you're going to make online, there are all your beliefs, all your fears, all your what people think of you and everything. And if you manage to make $1, like, it's much easier for your brain to think that you can actually make more money online. So for me, going from 0 to 1 client was actually like a huge mountain, and I was seeing my first dollar as the top of the mountain, and once I've reached it, that's it. I'm rich. I don't need to worry about this anymore. I don't have the fears, the beliefs, and the everything holding me back, which is actually true, because you let go of so many things once you start getting paid for what you know how to do, or for coaching people. But during the whole journey, I really believed that making my first dollar online was the hardest part, and that there wouldn't be anything harder than that would come afterwards. And I was also seeing it as something that you should unlock, and once you've unlocked it, you're just done, like, you know how to do things. Like, I really thought that I would be able to do it over and over again, and that I would not have to worry anymore about my financial situation. Like, weirdly, making my first dollar online to me meant being rich. Like, it wasn't the same level, even though I knew I had some work to do, but I was just like, there's no way it's going to be as hard as the beginning. And don't get me wrong, I don't think it's harder than the beginning. Like, going from 0 to 1 is definitely the hardest part. But now that I've done it, I can tell you that there are so many things that actually come after this, and so many emotions, so much responsibility. I think that before you get your first paying client, you're carrying a massive doubt, where maybe if other people around you don't really believe in what you're doing, or it's new to them and they're not sure about it, and also you have a part of yourself that feels really unsure about it, because maybe it's just like other people on social media that you've seen succeed and actually make money online, and maybe if you're like me, maybe you've been scammed before. And so before you actually get there, there's this doubt that you're carrying, and once you reach that first step, the doubt goes away, and you step into a new version of yourself. That's definitely true, and thanks God it's happening, because it's not really nice to be in that situation before, where you have to take action, and you have to move through the doubt, and you can't listen to other people, you can't listen to the fearful part of your brain that's telling you, hey, it's never going to work because you never did it. And so let me tell you about the moment I actually reached that goal of getting my first dollar, my first paying client. It was actually for a single call at the time, and it was in my previous business when I was helping musicians, and I just freaked out. I was very happy at first. I was so excited, thinking, hey, I did it. And I just straight away wanted to send it to my partner, to my family, to everyone, being like, hey, I made it. Like, I was right to believe in myself. It felt so good in that moment. But very quickly, I freaked out. I was like, they paid in advance for something that I haven't provided yet, and there's no way they're going to feel satisfied with the service I'm giving them compared to the value they gave me. And again, it was like 67 euros, which is like $80. So it's not like thousands of dollars. But very quickly, maybe after a couple of hours, I felt that heavy responsibility on my shoulders. Because when you're trying to make money online, when you're doing all the things, you're doing outreach, you're creating content, you're doing everything, you're not really carrying anything on your shoulders. And this is something that I didn't really see at the time, because I didn't know what it would feel like to actually hold responsibility. When people pay you money, there's a responsibility on your shoulders if you're someone who is ethical and who cares about what they're doing. And so this responsibility on my shoulders manifested as self-doubt and extreme fear and panic. The thought that kept looping in my head was, am I actually good enough? Am I actually going to succeed in delivering the value that people paid for? Because when people pay you, especially in advance for a product, they're basically saying, I trust that what I'm going to get out of your service or working with you is going to be more valuable than the money I gave you. And so the level of confidence that you need to actually show up after people pay you is way greater, is way bigger than the amount of confidence that you need to have to post online or to run sales calls. I mean, sales calls are really hard, or to run discovery calls or networking calls, because it's like you're holding people's money, and there's a tension between the moment they paid you and the moment you're going to deliver. What I also felt very quickly, I would say days after I got my first paying client, was that I finally reached the top of the mountain. I was like, that's it. I just got there. This is so cool. I can do that again. I finally unlocked this for myself. I finally figured out how to make money online. But there was a weird feeling that things hadn't magically changed. Things were still the same. I still had to work so hard and build so much so that I could make a living out of what I was doing. And in that moment, I realized it was just a start. And that feeling was not very nice, if I'm honest, because I felt so much laziness and like exhaustion because I have been working so hard. And just to give you a bit of context as well, I've been carrying a lot of fear because building this business is my A plan. I don't have a B plan. I don't have another job or option. The only B plan that I had was to work on cruise ships, and I'm not doing this anymore. Like now I have a cat, I can't even go there anymore. And so for me, it's been over a year that I carry the fear of running out of money before I actually managed to make a living, which pushed me to kind of overwork a little bit. And so once I reached that top of the mountain of getting my first client, I was like, oh, that's it, I can chill now. There was this part that was so tired, that survival part that was like, oh, I can finally chill, I can just rest. But then this realization that, hey, like this is not even the start. Like, what are you going to do with 67 euros? Like, go ahead and do some more work. And I was actually talking with a client about it earlier. But it's crazy how it feels disproportionate as well when you get your first paying client. You know, the money that you get when you actually still need to do the work with them compared to all the work that you've been doing maybe for years of trying to get to that point. But in the same way you're given so much when you're starting your business and getting so little returns, even when you get your first paying client, is the same way if you keep going in a couple of years, you're just really going to unlock abundance, you know, and being able to sell digital products when you sleep. Like if you really build a business that's ethical, that truly helps people, that over delivers value to people who pay you, to your clients, where you have happy customers, you end up having a lot of people, a lot of word of mouth, you know, a big audience, a big community, and that results in financial freedom as well, and working less than the average person would. The panic I felt though was real. It was insane. I almost wanted to refund my first client because I didn't believe I could deliver the value. And that was so painful. It was horrible. I remember not being able to sleep. I remember just freaking out about that call and being like, hey, there's no way I'm worth 67 euros for an hour of like working with someone and helping them. There's no way my skills and knowledge are worth $67 euros. I knew that this belief came from the fact that I never made money online before, that I always struggled in jobs that I hated in order to make money. And so it's normal that you feel this way when you start getting paid online. But the good news is that it didn't last too long. It just lasted a couple of days. And once I reached that first milestone of delivering the value to my first client, they were happy. That's huge for confidence building. So here are some of the lessons that I learned since I got my first paying client. And I say since because not everything happened in the moment I started making money online, but it's just the process of getting more clients, doing more sales calls, delivering value, ending the work with clients. And the first lesson would be that these kind of milestones, even though they really seem like the top of the mountain, they're just milestones and they don't remove the discomfort of doing things. It's just a start, truly. It's like, I think I was right to feel excited about this moment where I would actually start making money online and like so many things shift some old beliefs just go away. It's great, but discomfort will always be here whenever you step out of your comfort zone. And so it still happens very often that I'm on sales calls, or that I can be with clients sometimes on calls and still feeling a little bit uncomfortable because all this is very new. And I thought it would take so much less longer than it does take to actually feel confident as a coach, feel confident in what I'm doing. Like, this kind of confidence, I think, gets built over years of working in the same area, in the same niche, with the same kind of people, delivering the same kind of results. And so discomfort is just here all the time. And the discomfort that I was feeling by posting content and by reaching out to people and inviting them to a call, now I feel it in a different way. The second lesson that I've learned since I got through this experience is that growth always comes with different levels of responsibility. One thing that I didn't really realize at the time was how much responsibility you can have on your shoulders once you start having paying clients and once your business starts making money. Like, we all know that money is value, right? Like, you pay money for something when something is more valuable than the amount of money that you give it. And so when people give you a lot of money, and especially now that I'm raising my prices, I feel like I'm carrying so much responsibility on my shoulders, way more than when I was charging 67 euros, right? And that can be stressful, like, to think, hey, people trust me this much, like, I have to be good enough because they trusted me this much. And it's actually a good thing because it comes from alignment, it comes from being ethical and caring about what you do and caring deeply about clients, and also putting yourself in the position of being the one who pays and wanting to have value that's over-delivered to you. But it definitely is something that I didn't consider at first when I thought, hey, I want to build a big business, have a big impact in the world. Like, when people pay you real money, it puts real responsibility on your shoulders, which for me is great because it shows how I'm having an impact. People give me this much money, it means they are disconnected and discommitted to what they want to do, which is a great thing. And so I have people who are really committed, which is what I want to do. It definitely adds stress and responsibility to your shoulders that I didn't have in any way before. The third lesson would be that confidence doesn't just appear like poop. I thought it would. I truly thought I would become confident once I started making money online, because from the outside of being someone who didn't make money online, by seeing the people who did, I was like, oh, if I was them, I would be so confident because I would be able to say, I have made money online, I've already had clients, and so I'm confident. But the truth is that you don't feel so much more confident once you get this. Like, a little bit more, because you can say the proof, you can say the credibility, and that helps. But on an identity level, it doesn't change much, because the kind of shifts, real changes that happen on an identity level happen over months, or sometimes it's very short if something big happens in your life, but it happens over long periods of time and slowly, little by little. The truth is that every level feels really unfamiliar, uncomfortable, so far away from what you know. And I think this is what I love about business and about starting a journey online, is that you never know what's going to come. You can never get bored. You see, when I was in my previous job, working on cruise ships as a musician, it was great. Like, I was having a perfect life and stuff, but I was never getting challenged. I was never being tested. I was never learning so much. I was always in my comfort zone, and signing your first paying client is a huge milestone. It's like something that will completely change your life, because it changes the way you view yourself. It changes the way you view other people, the world, and it changes the way you view money. And so even though it's an amazing, beautiful experience, it also comes with unfamiliarity and discomfort. And I think I've learned now that even when I reach to the next level, even when I'll be selling digital products, something like that, for example, it will come with discomfort. In the same way as if you're putting content out there on social media and that one of your videos or one of your content blows up, it's going to feel really uncomfortable, even though it's a positive thing. And the last thing I've learned is that this whole journey really is emotional way more than it is strategic. The people who give up is because they let their emotions control the way. And even through working with my clients who are doing very similar work as I am, like doing outreach or posting content, being out there engaging and having conversations with people who might turn into clients, I see how everything comes in waves, and that it's usually when people hit the bottom of the ocean that they give up, not realizing that soon they're going to go back up. And so having some strong sense of taking action even when it feels uncomfortable, and not always just listening to your emotions, adjusting the work that you're doing based on how you're feeling, yes, but not just giving up or starting again or pivoting. This is something I used to do so much, pivoting, changing niche, changing offers, and you're just preventing things from compounding and from growing. So yeah, it's a beautiful journey. I'm so happy I got there. Now I'm in a place where getting clients actually became normal. I'm charging high ticket prices, and it's really fun to look back at this experience, and I'm so proud of the journey and being able to help other people on this journey too. By the way, if getting your first paying client is one of your goals, feel free to book a call with me down below and we can chat about what it feels like, what it would feel like to actually get your first paying client. And otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to let me know where you're at in the comments. I'll definitely reply to you, and I'll see you in the next one.